You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, fresh off the video I made this morning about the idea that Aaron Rodgers only wants to play for a Super Bowl contender, still waiting out for the Minnesota Vikings. The idea that maybe he doesn't look at the Steelers as Super Bowl contenders, and that retirement is on the table. Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show today, and he did some earth scorching. Let's just put it like that. He absolutely crushed NFL insiders for not having the real story. He absolutely crushed the New York Jets and how they handled that situation involving his exit. And I'm not going to lie to you, it doesn't make the Jets look real great. No. Not that they wanted him to come out there and sit down and talk to him, this, that, and the other. Well, that should have been on the Jets' dime, not on Aaron Rodgers' dime. And he has also come out and talked about how potentially little money he's willing to play for if he decides to continue to play. So this was him talking about the Jets and having to fly across the country, which he didn't have a problem with, by the way. But he had to do it on his own dime, thinking he was about to have him a nice little 2-hour meeting with the Jets, a sit down, and it turned out to be nothing like that.
I'm sure they're trying to shut this part down, but, listen, that was an interesting 2 years to say the least. But, I figured that when I flew across country on my own dime, that there was going to be a conversation. And the confusing thing to me and the strange thing was, when I went out there, I meet with the coach. We start talking. See, they don't want this. They don't want this.
You're back. You're back.
They don't want this out there. They don't want this out there right now.
You're back.
So where'd I leave you there?
You meet with the coach. You meet with the coach.
We start talking. He runs out of the room. I'm like, that's kind of strange. I was like, then he comes back with the GM. And I'm like, all right. So we sit down in the office. And I think we're going to have this long conversation. I've flown across the country. And 20 seconds in, he goes, literally, I'm talking to the GM about something, and he leans to the edge of his seat and goes, so do you want to play football? And I was like, yeah, I'm interested. And he said, we're going a different direction at quarterback. And I was kind of shocked. Now, not shocked because I didn't think that was a possibility. Listen, of course, they want to move on. That's totally fine. But shocked because I just flew across country. You could have told me this on the phone. If we weren't even going to have a conversation, and this is verbatim exactly how it happened. So I said, huh? And he goes, we just want to know how you want it released, the messaging. And I said, verbatim, I don't give a shit about the message. And I said, why? And then he said, I don't want to be up in front of the room saying something and have guys looking back at you.
Interesting.
And I said, what does that even mean? Are you assuming that I would be in the back of the room during a team meeting undermining what you're saying? I said, you don't know me. And he said, you don't know me. And then I said, exactly, which is why I flew across the country to have a face-to-face meeting with you to talk about my experience with the Jets and to hear your vision for the team. 20 seconds in. What I thought was going to be a couple-hour meeting turned into like a 15-minute meeting, and I walked out of there. But
Wow. I got to tell you, if it's as accurate, the Jets look like shit. They look like that's some classless bullshit with a 4-time MVP moonwalking into the Hall of Fame. A minimum top 10 greatest quarterback ever. Wow. Keep it class. Yeah, right here. Real classy. The Jets are just going to keep being the Jets. That's crazy to me. Aaron on Aaron crime. Who the F is Aaron Glenn? Wow. That's nuts, man. I mean, that's crazy. So he did come out and say that he would play for $10 million. Whether he will or not, I don't know. So right here, after complaining, as he usually does, now, look, Florio wrote this. Florio can't stand Aaron Rodgers because of COVID. All that COVID crap, because we know how Mike Florio is. All right? He's a wokester, and boy, he was ate up with that whole COVID thing. After complaining, as he usually does, about, quote, bullshit out there, he said he has told teams he would play, if he does, for only $10 million. So that leads us over to, where does he actually stand right now? Let's go.
Well, I'm happy to hear that you are still open to things. I'm happy to hear that it seems like your football conversations in life are going in a positive fashion. I'm happy to hear that you're driving in a Malibu in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on a Friday out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to hear about you going through a lot of things in your personal life with your inner circle. And we all are excited to hear about what you're going to do with your future whenever you figure out the time is right to make that decision. We appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Yeah, listen, I don't have sources. I don't have people that are out there pushing narratives. I speak for myself. And it's been nice to be quiet for the last few months. It's funny in that time period how the shit narrative goes fucking crazy, right? When I haven't said a fucking word. So there's nothing to say. I just laid out where I'm at. There's nothing else to report. There's no other reason to be continuing to talk about me at this point. So it's time to turn the page. All those people that have made a lot of money slandering my name, you know, apologize for COVID.
Okay.
Say your vax status.
Okay. All right. I'm happy to hear you. A couple months off. Still got the fastball.
And fucking keep it moving.
Yeah, you're right. How you doing? Keep it moving. Tell Apollo we said hello. Can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at right now. He must be laying down on the ground here somewhere.
Pissing on something. He's pissing on something. He's chewing.
Probably, chewing something up for sure. He's chewing something
Huskies
up.
are very not active either.
Okay, so, and he talked about right here, Rodgers specifically said it's not accurate that he's waiting on the Vikings. That theory, in the absence of Rodgers, has emerged to explain his failure to sign with the Steelers after last month's 6-hour visit to Pittsburgh. By the way, he did say, he come right out and said, there's something going on that's personal. It's in his inner circle. He's trying to make a decision whether or not he wants to continue to play football. So it does sound like retirement is on the table. All right, so that talk is right. Now, the one thing I would tell Aaron is, look, until you sign with a team and or retire, people are going to talk about you on a daily basis. And you are an NFL quarterback until you decide to retire and not be an NFL quarterback. So you can't expect people that talk about football to not talk about somebody that plays football. That's all there is to it. So, that's the way I look at that. I mean, if he wants to ride off into the sunset, whatever, great. I mean, that's fine. People will be like, I'll make a video. Aaron Rodgers retired. Might even be the last video I ever make on him. But, you get my point. Or if he signs with somebody, there's going to be a video. Or if there's a new rumor that all of a sudden he does want to go to the Saints, yeah, people are going to cover that. It just is what it is. That's the name of the game. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.